For the first time in centuries, researchers have uncovered what's believed to be Jesus' tomb.
Workmen uncovering the marble slab over the tomb. The historian Eusebius said he did it to cover the tomb where Jesus was buried.
Imagine for a moment discovering something that has been hidden for over 2,000 years, something that seems straight out of a mystery book. Well, scientists have finally found the tomb of Jesus, one that has been sealed for 2 millennia. It's as if we're about to unravel an ancient secret, something that shakes our deepest beliefs and makes us question everything we know. But before we delve into this incredible discovery, let's travel back in time a bit, to the days when Jesus walked the earth. You won't believe the recent discovery that scientists made at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This place has been famous for centuries as the possible site where Jesus was buried and resurrected. Imagine the excitement when researchers finally found evidence confirming the location of this historic tomb. And it's not just that inside the tomb, they discovered clues that could change our understanding of events that occurred thousands of years ago. Have they found the remains of Jesus? Brace yourself to uncover the chilling secrets that have been revealed and how this may affect our deepest beliefs. Get ready for a fascinating journey through the mystery of Jesus' tomb. Recently, researchers made a fascinating discovery at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in the central area of Jerusalem. For many years, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has been a significant destination for Christians from all corners of the world, drawing them on pilgrimages to this sacred site. According to the New Testament, Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, often referred to as the place of the skull. This location, believed to be an ancient quarry outside the city walls, holds profound significance in Christian history. About a decade after Jesus' death, a new wall was built, enclosing the area where Jesus was crucified and buried, within the bounds of the city of Jerusalem. This explains why the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is within the Old City today. Emperor Constantine I, who embraced Christianity, ordered the demolition of a temple dedicated to Venus in Jerusalem to make way for a church. During the demolition, workers uncovered a tomb believed to be that of Jesus. Pilgrims visiting the Church of the Holy Sepulchre would first ascend a staircase from Jerusalem's main street, the Cardo. They would then pass through several sections, including a narthex, a basilica, and a sacred garden where the rock of Golgotha was, before reaching the Holy Sepulchre itself. Initially, the tomb carved into the rock was exposed to the elements, but later a small building was erected to protect it. The entire complex was richly adorned, as described by Eusebius of Caesarea, a biographer of Constantine, and as depicted in artworks from the early 5th century in Rome, and on the 6th century in Rome, and on the 6th century Madaba mosaic map. Modern excavations have also shed light on its rich decorations. In the year 326, Constantine's mother, known as St. Helena, embarked on a journey to Jerusalem. The popular narrative states that during this pilgrimage, she came across what was believed to be the cross on which Jesus was crucified, often referred to as the True Cross. The saga of the discovery of the True Cross became widely circulated in the early 5th century. In the 11th century, a cave beneath the basilica's ruins gained renown as the chapel of the finding of the cross. In 614, tragedy struck when a Persian army devastated the church to its foundations and seized the true cross. However, in 631, the Byzantine emperor Heraclius managed to negotiate its return. After the Arab conquest in 638, the lives of Christians in Jerusalem initially remained relatively peaceful, with a climate of predominant tolerance. However, 3 centuries later, transformations occurred when the basilica's entrance was converted into a mosque. Thus, in 966, a devastating fire instigated during anti-Christian protests consumed the structure's dome. In 1009, the church was systematically destroyed by the fervent Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim. However, the Byzantine Emperor Constantine X Monomachus generously sponsored its reconstruction, though he promoted alterations to its structure, including a new entrance on the south side. This rebuilt church attracted pilgrims from all parts of Christianity during the latter stretch of the 11th century. It is noteworthy that, for much of this time, Muslim rulers in the city treated pilgrims with kindness and respect. It was only after the Seljuk Turks conquered Jerusalem in 1077 that rumors began circulating about Christian pilgrims suffering abuses and being prevented from accessing the church. The longing to reclaim holy places, especially the Holy Sepulchre, played a significant role in motivating the First Crusade, which occurred between 1096 and 1099. After the capture of Jerusalem by the Crusaders in 1099, eyewitness accounts describe how survivors of the journey prayed in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, an unusual occurrence as it did not have a roof at the time. In the 50 subsequent years, the Church of Constantine Monomachus underwent extensive reconstructions. Although retaining its original structure, the church was transformed into a cathedral, following the model of Western churches. The garden surrounding the church was converted into the Crusaders' Basilica, and a distinct chapel was dedicated to the Rock of Golgotha. The rededication of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre took place on July 15, 1149, precisely 50 years after the capture of Jerusalem by the First Crusade. However, construction work continued for several years after this event. Nevertheless, the church bears resemblance to what visitors see today. Due to the large number of pilgrims, measures were implemented to control access and movement within the church, as evidenced by the still present double doors today. The finely carved lintels, through which pilgrims used to pass, were transferred to the Rockefeller Museum in Jerusalem after an earthquake in 1927. After the Muslim reconquest of the city in 1187, one of the church's entrances was sealed. Despite periods of Muslim rule, pilgrims were still allowed to visit the site, while Western leaders sought agreements to ensure access rights. This site remained hidden for a long time, until archaeologists unexpectedly discovered it, revealing the burial place of Jesus. Inside the tomb, they made a surprising discovery: ancient mortar beneath the stone, where Jesus is believed to have been laid to rest. This mortar dates back to the period when Emperor Constantine ruled the Roman Empire. The revelation of the tomb of Jesus adds weight to the stories passed down through history about the burial place of Jesus, revered by Christians. Going back in time, we find Constantine the first Roman emperor to adopt Christianity. It is said that he, with the help of his mother Helena, discovered what was believed to be the rocky tomb of Jesus, a central figure in Christianity. This significant event is said to have occurred around 325-326 AD. Constantine, driven by a divine calling, embarked on a mission to find the sacred site where Jesus was buried. They tirelessly sought until they reached Jerusalem, where they believed the tomb could be found. Their journey led them to an ancient Roman temple, possibly dedicated to Venus, the goddess of love. It was a crucial moment in their quest as they stood before this historic site, ready to uncover the secrets held there. The ancient Roman temple, a timeless structure intertwined in the tapestry of history, became the focal point of their exploration. As they sought to reveal the sacred tomb hidden within its walls, the temple underwent a dramatic transformation. It stood for centuries as a symbol of ancient times, until it was meticulously dismantled to expose the secrets hidden beneath its ancient stones. As they peeled back the layers of history, the excavation revealed a tomb carved gently into the rough edges of a limestone cave. The moment they revealed the interior of the tomb marked a significant point in history. The natural cave, now considered a sacred space, had its top removed to expose the sacred enclosures within. This monumental discovery led to the creation of the edicule, a protective structure around the sacred space, preserving the essence of the divine revelation. The story of Constantine's quest and the subsequent revelation of the tomb beneath the Roman temple symbolizes the complex relationship between history, faith, and the search for sacred relics. It is a story deeply rooted in Christian memory, blending temporal and spiritual aspects into a profoundly meaningful narrative. Within the sacred walls of the tomb, believed to hold the remains of Jesus Christ, one feature stands out: a long shelf often referred to as a burial bed. According to tradition, this is where Jesus' body was lovingly placed after the crucifixion, inviting contemplation on the profound implications of that significant moment in Christian theology. Exploring the intricate details of the tomb, we discover something fascinating. a resemblance to the tombs of wealthy Jews living in Jerusalem during the 1st century. These tombs, carved into robust limestone caves, often featured shelves and niches. It's as if they shared a common understanding of how to honor the deceased, constructing these sacred spaces with a deep sense of respect. The burial bed is not just a physical structure. It carries profound symbolism associated with the spiritual narrative of Christianity. It represents the final resting place, silently witnessing events of great importance. As we study the details carved into the limestone, we feel a deep connection to the rich narrative of Christian beliefs. A layer of history unfolds as we examine the marble covering the burial bed. This marble, believed to have been carefully placed no later than 1555, speaks of the passage of time. However, historical clues suggest it may have been there even earlier, possibly dating back to the mid-14th century. Throughout history, accounts of pilgrims have echoed through the centuries, offering us precious insights into the layers of time and enriching our understanding of the sacredness contained within. Every chisel mark on the marble and every curve of the burial bed carries with it the whispers of centuries past. These details connect ancient times with the present through the reverence shown by pilgrims and believers. The tomb, with its special features, transcends mere physical space. It becomes a vessel carrying centuries of devotion and contemplation. It invites all who approach to connect with a narrative eternally engraved in stone. Let's take a look at the scientific findings about the mortar found in Jesus' tomb, exploring surprising ancient secrets. Under the chief scientific supervision of Antonia Moropoulou, a team of scientists dated mortar samples taken from different parts of the edicule, the protective structure around the tomb. What they discovered shocked the world. The mortar, a relic embedded with architectural history, became the focus of their investigation. By analyzing samples from different points of the edicule using radiocarbon dating, researchers sought to reveal the ancient secrets hidden within the mortar. The recent test results shed new light on the timeline of the edicule's construction. The discovery that the lower slab, a crucial part of the sacred structure, was likely cemented in place during the mid-4th century adds another layer of historical significance to this sacred monument. Associating this construction work with the reign of Emperor Constantine adds an important layer to the story, linking the early edicule with the influence of a key historical figure. The mid-4th century period provides a glimpse into the past, connecting the architectural development of the edicule with the history of the Roman Empire. As the results emerge, they bring a pleasant surprise to those studying the sacred monument, with the dating of the edicule's lower slab as evidence of the ongoing quest for historical truth. Once silent witnesses of ancient craftsmanship, the mortar samples now reveal insights that enhance our understanding of Emperor Constantine's journey and the people who shaped the sacred sanctuary of Jesus' tomb. Scientists used an advanced method called optically stimulated luminescence, OSL, to date the sacred mortar samples from the edicule, allowing them to determine when the quartz sediment, crucial to the mortar, was last exposed to light. This technique is significant because it unveils details of time with precision. The mortar samples underwent thorough examination in 2 separate laboratories, each independently contributing to the quest for clarity on the timeline. Using OSL, researchers sought to uncover the history stored in the quartz sediment. By studying how this sediment was exposed to light over time, they gained insights into the periods when the mortar underwent alterations. Questions arose about whether the rebuilt church accurately reflected the sacred ground identified by a delegation from Rome 17 centuries earlier. Despite these uncertainties, the church remains a symbol of Jerusalem's enduring spirit, inviting reflection and investigation into the complex narratives of faith and historical accuracy. As researchers examined mortar samples taken from the remains of the southern wall of the cave, they began to piece together a historical timeline. Dating these samples from the years 335 and 1570 provided a link between Roman-era construction work and a documented restoration in the 16th century. These echoes of mortar, preserved within the structure of the edicule, serve as evidence of the enduring history embedded in this sacred space. The southern wall, having witnessed centuries of changes, revealed signs of Roman, array construction, reinforcing the story of how the edicule evolved. Through scientific analysis, guided by precise dating methods, researchers were able to decipher the chronological impressions left by different builders and restorers. A significant discovery occurred when they examined the mortar from the entrance of the tomb, which bore the signature of the 11th century. This aligns with a crucial period in the edicule's history, the careful reconstruction following its destruction in 1009. The findings highlight the resilience of those who tirelessly worked to preserve this sacred vase, showcasing their dedication through careful reconstruction efforts during the 11th century. The meticulous analysis of these fragments not only helped determine their age, but also paid tribute to the skill and dedication of those who, over the centuries, contributed to the ongoing restoration of the edicule, unraveling the mystery of Jesus. Today, the tomb receives daily visits from millions of pilgrims and is cared for by priests of various Christian denominations, following strict regulations dating back to the Ottoman era. In addition to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, there are 6 other locations in Jerusalem that people believe could be where Jesus was originally buried. But which one is the true site? One of these locations is the Talpiot family tomb, located about 5 km south of Jerusalem's Old City. Discovered in 1980, it gained widespread attention after the 2007 Discovery Channel documentary, The Lost Tomb of Jesus, produced by James Cameron and directed by Simcha Jacobovis. Inside the Talpiot tomb, archaeologists found 10 ossuaries or bone boxes with names like Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Of particular interest was an ossuary with the inscription Miriamen, believed to belong to Mary Magdalene, suggesting a possible marital connection to Jesus. 2 other ossuaries contained names that suggested familial ties to Jesus: Judah, son of Jesus, and Jesus, son of Joseph, leading to speculation that Jesus and Mary Magdalene might have had a son named Judas. However, scholars argue that names like Jesus, Joseph, and Mary were common in first-century Judea, so their presence does not necessarily prove a connection to biblical figures. It's possible that the filmmakers, Cameron and Jacobovici, may have interpreted these names too strongly, as they were popular names at the time and may not indicate any direct connection to Jesus and his family. Supporters of the Talpiot tomb argue that DNA tests did not show a maternal link between Jesus and Mary, a claim that the Discovery Channel documentary suggests supports their theory of marriage between the two. However, critics point to the possibility of a paternal relationship, such as father, daughter, or grandfather, granddaughter. Scholar James Tabor suggests that the famous James, known as the brother of Jesus, may have been buried in the Talpiot tomb, indicating it as the burial place of the family of Jesus of Nazareth. Chemical tests, funded by filmmaker Simcha Jacobovici, suggest a connection between the James ossuary and the Talpiot tomb based on trace elements found in the soil of East Jerusalem. Despite the captivating story, some question the reliability of the results due to the small sample size used in the tests. Additionally, there is uncertainty about the origin of the James ossuary, as its appearance does not match the other ossuaries found in the Talpiot tomb. It's worth noting that the scholars interviewed for the documentary, except James Tabor, raised concerns about how their statements were portrayed and distorted. This discrepancy makes it important to question the conclusions drawn by the filmmakers. In simple terms, those who support the idea of the Talpiot family tomb have not convincingly explained a major problem. If Jesus' family came from Galilee, why would they have a family tomb in Jerusalem? Archaeologist Jody Magnus makes a clear point. During Jesus' time, only wealthy families used rock-cut tombs and the tradition of later moving bones to ossuaries. If Jesus' family were more modest in Galilee, they would likely choose a common tomb. Magnus also notes that the names on the ossuaries from the Talpiot tomb suggest they were from Judea, where people were known by their first name and father's name, not like in Galilee, where they were identified by first name and hometown. It's like solving a simple puzzle. The pieces don't fit the Galilean picture. Another possible burial site for Jesus is the Garden Tomb, which gained popularity in 1883 thanks to Charles Gordon, earning the nickname Gordon's Tomb. Its appeal lies in its peaceful garden setting, attracting many tourists, especially evangelical Christians eager to visit the place where Jesus is believed to be buried. The history of the Garden Tomb is rife with questionable identification methods, including Gordon's belief that Jerusalem resembled a skull, with a skull hill as its head. There's a case of dishonesty, with Ron Wyatt falsely claiming to have found the Ark of the Covenant nearby. Adding to the doubt, no. Second Temple period tomb has been found nearby. Archaeologist Gabriel Barquet studied the tomb complex housing the Garden Tomb and concluded that it dates back to the Iron Age, around the 7th or 8th centuries BC. Its architectural style resembles more First Temple period tombs, especially those near the Basilica of St. Stephen. Contrary to what John 19:41 says, the Garden Tomb was not a new tomb where no one had been laid before. It was already over 600 years old during Jesus' time. Unfortunately for researchers seeking Jesus' burial site, this tomb was dismissed as a possible location. Another suggested site as Jesus' burial place is the Tomb of the Shroud, located in the Kidron Valley. Its historical authenticity is debated, but it has drawn attention for being near the Garden of Gethsemane and being linked to a tradition about Joseph of Arimathea. The tomb is carved into rock, a common style for tombs in ancient Judea. It is believed to be significant because it may be linked to the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Tradition says it's called the Tomb of the Shroud because an ancient shroud or burial cloth was found there. While some traditions believe the Tomb of the Shroud is indeed connected to Joseph of Arimathea, who, according to the New Testament, provided Jesus with a tomb after his crucifixion, others doubt this claim. There is limited archaeological evidence supporting the idea that the Tomb of the Shroud is where Jesus was buried, and experts have differing opinions on its historical accuracy. Despite the uncertainties, people are drawn to this site for its religious significance and the mysteries surrounding its connection to Jesus' burial. It is still considered an important part of the rich tapestry of traditions and beliefs about where Jesus was buried. The Church of Dominus Flevit is another site that some traditions link to Jesus' burial, although it is not widely considered the actual tomb. Located on the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, it offers a stunning view of the Old City. Its name means the Lord wept in Latin, commemorating the tradition that Jesus wept over Jerusalem from this spot. Designed by Italian architect Antonio Barluzzi, the church is shaped like a teardrop to symbolize Jesus' tears. Its unique architecture and panoramic view make it a fascinating stop for visitors exploring Jerusalem's sacred sites. Next to the Church of Dominus Flevit is a rock-cut tomb that has some traditions associated with Joseph of Arimathea, the man who, according to tradition, provided Jesus with a tomb after his crucifixion. While the Church of Dominus Flevit is not as famous as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, it still holds spiritual importance on the Mount of Olives, a site connected to many events in the Bible. Although not widely accepted as the actual burial site of Jesus, the church remains a significant location full of history, beautiful architecture, and religious stories from Jesus' time. The tomb of the Virgin Mary and the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea are also believed by some as potential burial sites for Jesus. The tomb of the Virgin Mary, located in the Kidron Valley, is traditionally associated with the burial of Jesus' mother. Pilgrims and visitors are drawn to this site, believing it to have significance in Christian history, even though the historical evidence linking it to Mary is limited. People are drawn to this tomb for its reverence for Mary and the stories passed down in Christian tradition. Joseph of Arimathea, mentioned in the New Testament, is known for providing his tomb for Jesus' burial. The exact location of Joseph's tomb varies among different beliefs. Some say it's in the Kidron Valley, while others point to different places. These divergent claims add to the mystery surrounding the search for the location where Joseph was buried after his significant role in Jesus' burial. Both tombs are surrounded by religious devotion and history, offering faithful believers the chance to spiritually connect as they explore them. The stories connected to these sites are woven into the broader fabric of Christian faith, inviting both pilgrims and historians to explore the stories passed down through generations. The quest for the exact location where Jesus was buried continues to intrigue those interested in the historical and spiritual aspects of his burial. Are you enjoying the content? So don't miss the opportunity to get even more involved with our community. Sign up now to receive regular updates straight to your inbox. Be among the first to access our exclusive articles, informative videos, and in-depth analysis on a range of interesting topics. Also, leave a like if you enjoy what we offer. Your opinion is important to us and motivates us to continue sharing valuable content with you. And don't forget to share with your friends, family, and colleagues. Help us expand our community and share knowledge with more interested people. Join us today and be part of an exciting journey of learning and discovery